Good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's show, Unlocked with Tracy Wilson. And of course, that's my name. Otherwise, it wouldn't be called Tracy Wilson. It'd be rather odd if we had a show, Unlocked with Tracy Wilson, and she wasn't the presenter. So anyway, just thought that was thought I would share that with you. Of course, my name's Tracy Wilson. So pleased to be with you today. We are going to delve straight in and we are going to be unlocking some things that are going to help you to stand out in a crowded market. Now, firstly, I want to make sure that you guys can hear me and all that good stuff. So we've got the comment section on the right-hand side. You should be able to see me now. You should be able to communicate with me. We're communicating across multiple channels all at the same time. So you might be seeing me on Facebook or YouTube. Click the link above and make sure that you have clicked the link that says click StreamYard in the link description above to make sure that I can actually communicate with you. So let's kick this off. Let's get stuck in and talk about how the heck do you stand out in a crowded market. And if you're here today thinking that this is only relative to business or for those that are actually in business, I want to reset your thought pattern here, because what I'm going to talk about today relates to any part of your life. So whether it be you're trying to stand out in business, you're trying to stand out as a sports person, you're trying to stand out in your current employment, the things that I'm about to share with you are all ways in which are going to help you to stand out in a really good way in whatever your respective industry is, whether you're working for someone else or you're working for yourself. So who would actually like to hear what these things are? I'm going to share with you three things. These are a framework and a model that we've come up with that have really held me in good stead over the years, and I want to share them and unlock sort of the secrets behind all of those today, so that you guys can actually go away and start implementing them too. What you'll also find is that when you implement these things, or when you take on board the things I'm talking about, this will happen really, really fast. So be prepared. Be prepared that it's going to happen fast. This is not the slow lane of development. We're going to put you like smack bang right in the middle of the fast lane, and you'll be putting them skis on and going down that slope at a pace. So if that's what you want to do and you're ready for that, then listen up. And if it's not for you, well, you can just kind of adapt this and, dial it back a little bit so that it suits your own personality. So let's get stuck in. Hope you guys have had an amazing week this week. I certainly have. Huge amount of development been going on, and I've got a few things. I'm going to let the cat out of the bag on a couple of things a little bit later on in the show. So I want you guys to hang around, because I will be telling you a few little secrets that I think you're going to be a little bit excited about, because I certainly am. So let's get started. So like I said, these apply to any area of your business, your family, and your life. I want you to take on board the things that I'm talking about, and then just kind of sit back and think about, well, how will I apply these in whatever it is that you are trying to do? So what market is it that you are trying to stand out in? Are you trying to get picked for a really big sporting team? I've got, lots of my family are really talented sports people, and I know that they are always trying to stand out in their respective markets. Is it that you're trying to stand out in the business world? Is it that you're trying to stand out so that you can get a promotion in the place that you are currently working? So here's the first thing. I'm going to give you a bit of a framework. It's a three-pronged approach that I take when I'm trying to stand out or help people to stand out in their respective market. The first thing that you need to do is you actually need to stand up. And this might sound really simple, but it's like you've got to stand up and take your place at the table. You have to be somebody that is willing to lean in and be part of the conversation. Either you have to be the person that starts a conversation, or you've got to be a person that is there ready to participate and join in on the conversation. Hey guys, I'm seeing you all in the chat. I'm so pleased that you're here today. Hi, Robert Stern. Great to have you here. Vicky, Robin, and the rest of the crew who are always here to support. It's awesome to see you guys. So the first thing, like I said, is to actually step up and stand up. Be ready to be counted. So when you do that, you're sort of looking at, most of you are wanting to do this, because I know you are, because I have lots and lots of questions about, how do you do this, Trace? I'm too scared. People are going to judge me. I'm frightened to do that. Part of this is about you starting to do what you do and gaining some competence. When you get competent with things, that then breeds confidence. You then get that confidence, which will allow you to step up and join the conversations and step up and be at that table. You want to then find that lion or lioness within, and you want to enable her or him to be unleashed and allow them out. That's like what we call your inner genius. More on that a little bit in another session. I'll talk about inner genius and how to kind of tap into that. But the first step is that you're prepared to actually do this. So just make that conscious decision that, you know what, I've got some really good things to talk about. I've got some great stuff to share, and I want to be able to share it. And I want my voice to be heard. Yesterday, when Tamara McCleary was on, she's been super, super brave in that industry. And she is stepping up and saying, do you know what? It's about time somebody came to the table and that their voice was heard. And she's saying, that's me. I am going to be that person in the technology space, in the AR and AI space, that is going to step up, be accountable, and have a voice at the table. So I thought what she was talking about yesterday is perfectly aligned to what I'm talking about today. So it's unleashing that lion or lioness from within. And then when you do that, you want to make sure that you find your tribe. Like, find a group of people, find a bunch of people. And to be honest, they're probably all in this group. If you are watching right now on whatever channel, if you want a tribe that vibes at this level, you need to get into the Success Secrets for Business, Family, and Life group. That's where we are hanging out. These guys that are in this group are like vibing at that same level, and it will help you to lift your game. You want to hang around people. You don't want to be the best fish in a little ocean. You want to find a big pond that's got some really good people in it that are doing amazing things that will challenge you to continually rise your level of performance, raise your level of awareness, raise your level of consciousness, and in turn, what you'll find will happen with you is now I've got this voice. Now I feel really comfortable in being able to speak and speak my truth. The other thing that I would say is that, you can find people in places like this, but also just reaching out to different business partners or different people that you can be accountable or be your support person. I kind of call them your wing woman or your wing man. Like, we've got a group of that in the Metadime group. Like, the team of people that we have driving Metadime digital channel, that is what we do for one another. And I can tell you, it makes a massive difference to the way in which you deliver things, because you have people behind you cheering you on. So at this channel here, that's what we want to be for you. So don't be afraid to step up and be prepared to actually unleash your inner lioness or your inner lion. Find the tribe and get on the same vibe and the same wavelength as them. And then that will give you the confidence to be able to do what you need to do. But the first step is obviously being prepared that you are going to step up to be seen at the table and have a voice. That's the first thing that you want to make sure that you do. The next thing that I want to talk about in this three-pronged process is standing firm. So this is super, super important. What do I mean by this? As you're trying to sort of carve out your own, I call it the ecosystem in your market, and you're trying to find your voice and you're trying to stand out in most cases, really crowded spaces, because you're not going to be there alone. I'm not the only person that speaks about the stuff that I want to speak about on my show, which is business related, family related, and life related. I am not the only person that does that, but I've come up with the things that I want to talk about because those are the things that I'm passionate about. So what I would encourage you to do is also to help you, to think about what are the things that you really value in your life. What are your core values? And then think about what is your purpose. Sometimes finding your purpose can be really, really hard, and people find it difficult to go, well, heck, what is my purpose? What I want you to think about, and often this comes first, think about what are you passionate about? What are the things that really light your fire, that you are, that you love and you enjoy doing? If it happens to be, I've got my good friend Minders Glover who's on the show today. Hi Minders. But he's super passionate about product launches, and he's super passionate about sailing. So what should he speak about? Well, he should speak about those things. Why? Because he's passionate about them, and then his purpose is driven by his passion. So the same goes for you. If you are kind of, you've probably heard from lots of other people in the past, you've got to find your passion. What are you passionate about? What's your why? Your why you'll help yourself find your why when you figure out what are you passionate about. And I can guarantee that there will be 1, 2, 3 things at a bare minimum that you are super passionate about, and that will help you to speak about them really easily. It will help you bring the passion to the forum that you are speaking on, and enable you to have that momentum to continue to move forward, so that you maintain tenacity throughout your entire process. The other things that you need to do in terms of standing firm is you want to think about, what are the things that I'm going to be flexible on? So there will be some things that once you've worked out, like, what is my passion? So therefore, what is my purpose, and why do I want to do what I want to do? And why do I want to speak about these? Why do I feel so strongly about it? You then want to come up with, like, what are the things that I'm going to be flexible on? And then on the flip side of that, you're also then going to be thinking about, well, what are the things that I'm just not going to be flexible about? What are the things I don't want to budge on? And it's not about being hard and fast and being, stuck in concrete or anything like that, but it is about understanding the things that really mean something to you, so that you can start to formulate boundaries. It took me a long time to learn this whole boundary thing. Like, I was, a yes person, and I sort of grew up in that environment where saying yes to everything, it was like a say yes and figure it out later sort of mentality. And that was the corporate world that I was brought up in, where I said yeah, I can do that. And in most cases your capabilities allow you to do that, but your time doesn't. And you very quickly need to get to a point where you start to formulate boundaries about, what will you do, what won't you do, and communicating those really strongly so that everybody knows and understands what they are. And that also goes for family. Like I said, it took me a long time to understand this and realize that I needed to communicate what those boundaries are. And sometimes that word boundaries, it can have a negative connotation to it, that you mustn't or you can't do this. But the way in which you deliver it makes a really big difference. And when you can explain to people why you're doing things and why you can't do something, they usually understand. I had an instance where, and my sister's probably watching, and I love her dearly, and we're having like a ball at the moment. But there were a time where, we went through this period of time where we weren't really talking, and I was like, what the heck? Why are we not talking? I don't understand this. And it took me to come to the table and say, hey, I don't understand why this is happening. And she said to me, and it made me she said, I just want to spend time with you. Well, I didn't actually know that. I wanted to spend time with her too, but I was so busy on my business, I didn't realize that impact that was actually having on some of my other relationships. So actually, setting those boundaries, but also communicating what it is that you're up to and why you can't go to some things, and why, it's not that you don't want to go, it's just that you've got other priorities at the moment to enable you to go to these things a little bit further down the track. So setting boundaries, super, super important. And it will enable you to focus on the right things at the right time, and maintain good relationships throughout that entire process. The other thing that you want to do in terms of like standing firm, often, fear, and I'm going to bring fear up again because this is something, I had a conversation with somebody a little bit earlier in the week, and she was someone who reached out to me because she'd seen me posting about membership sites in another group and how I do some ninja tricks to help, entrepreneurs deliver their material in really cool ways that helps their audience be engaged. So she reached out to me and she said, look, I want to catch up with you. And she was telling me about how she had just recently, transitioned out of the corporate world and into this entrepreneurial world. And she had, like, the skill set that she was telling me about was huge. Like, she's really, really clever and really, really skilled. But now that she stepped out and she's in this entrepreneurial world, she's like, I don't know anything. And she's in this frame of mind of buying every course that came across her newsfeed, thousands and thousands of dollars. And my advice to her at that time was, stop. Don't buy another course until you have implemented the ones that you have already brought. And again, I'm saying this because I've been down that path too. I buy things now as just in time. When I need them and I'm looking for a particular thing, I'll go and purchase that, and then off I go. When you're starting out and you're doing some foundations, well, you need to get somebody to help you with the foundational piece to enable you to stand up and stand firm. All right, so those are the first two things that you need to do. Right, the next thing that I'm going to add to this mix, this is the third thing in the mix. It's like, now, how do I stand out? And this is probably the most important and the biggest question that most people will have. And this is the topic of today's show. How do I stand out in a crowded market? And like I said, this applies to any area of your life. So the first things you want to do is you want to find your voice. Like I said, the two things that I've just spoken about will help you in this space. Standing out comes from being prepared to step up, stand up. Then you stand firm. The next piece in this puzzle is, now how do I stand out? How do I stand out and actually be counted? How do I have my voice heard? How do I get people to see me in the right light to get me to where I want to go? So standing out then comes down to being very, very clear on what it is that you want. Do you want a promotion? Do you want to be picked for that next sporting team? Do you want to be seen as an expert in the business world? If that's what your goal is, you want to think about, what sort of person do I need to be seen as that person who is standing out? So what sort of person do I need to be? So it's not about what do I need to have, what sort of equipment do I need to have, what friends do I need to have? It's none of that. It's like, it's about what sort of person do I need to be? What behaviors do I need to display? I need to make sure that I show up. So there's a few things that I've got in the standing out section. Like I said, it's finding your voice and being prepared to step up and know that not everybody is going to vibe with you. That is just the way it is. And like I said before, I'm not the only person talking about this stuff. But the difference is I do it differently. I'm not the same as anybody else. I look different. I speak different. I do different, just like you do. You speak differently. You have different thoughts. You say things differently, et cetera, et cetera. So every single one of us is unique. And by speaking your uniqueness is where your opportunity to stand out comes in. If you think about it, quite often we're born and then we are tried to stick down this narrow path of, you go to school, you do certain things. And I think Scott spoke about this the other day, and we talked about indoctrination. But you soon you find yourself trying to fit in. You're trying to fit in. You try to wear the same shoes as your friends do. You try to look the same way that they do. You don't want to stand out. So we spend many, many years just trying to fit in and be accepted, only to find, and it usually, I reckon, as soon as you kind of hit 40, it's like, well, you know what? I don't need to comply with everybody else anymore. I've got this voice. I actually feel like I can speak my truth. And you gain this level of confidence that just comes. So if I want you guys to think about this now. I want you to think about, and I want you to type this into, hi Reza, great that you made it. Thank you for messaging me beforehand. I want you guys to type in the chat box to me. What's a piece of advice that you would give your younger self? So if you were to look back at your life and you were to go, do you know what? When I was 10 years old, I would want to tell myself this. What would it be? What would you actually say? And these are the things that we need to be sharing with our children and our grandchildren, is that everything will be okay. You know, you will grow up, you're going to be an amazing person, and you will make your way through life, and allow them to feel like they don't have to always fit in, that being unique and being able to stand out is what's going to hold them in good stead as they get older and in their adulthood. And that will give them the sense of well-being and courage to be able to do new things. Reza, thank you. Reza, she's saying patience. Absolutely. Like often we get really frustrated and can be very impatient with ourselves. Patience is super, super important, and being prepared to sometimes we've got to tough things out. Sometimes we have to go through really tough spots to get on the other side. In fact, just in terms of standing out, that has reminded me of something I watched on the weekend. I was over at Mum and Dad's place, and I was watching a show that my dad had on the History Channel, I think it was. It was really interesting, and it was about entrepreneurs, and they were talking about Kellogg's and how the brand Kellogg's came about. And I don't know if you guys know this, but I found this really interesting, that the Kellogg's cornflake actually came from a big mistake. So one of the Kellogg's brothers went into their factory in one morning and was like, "Oh damn, we made a whole batch of this batter, I suppose you'd call it, or dough, and they weren't supposed to leave it out. So what they were creating at the time was actually a particular type of cereal. So they were innovating in the market, and they were bringing out cereal as we know it today to be for breakfast. Well, back in the day, that wasn't the case. That was, we ate whatever for breakfast, but they innovated because they saw a gap in a market that was to bring like health food to the food space. So that's what they were trying to work on. And then this particular night, the guys made a mistake, and they left the dough out. And so anyway, the next morning when he came in, he looked at that mistake and thought, "Shit, this is ruined. We're not going to be able to use it." But he put it through their I suppose you'd call it like a press that pressed out the dough to make the cereal that they were trying to make at the time. And when he did that, and it went through the conveyor belt, it came out the other side as like little flakes. And they were like, "Oh, what's this?" That's how the Kellogg's cornflake came about. I thought that show was really interesting, and it really does fit into what we're talking about today, like how to stand out. Sometimes we get to stand out because we make mistakes, and it's okay to make mistakes. Sometimes hidden in those mistakes, or what you may have also heard people talking about, is that you'll find your message in your mess. It's okay to have that, because what becomes, your issue is probably an issue that many, many other people have, and that you need to share to help them get to the other side, and help them to realize that they just have to persevere, have patience, and move through that. So thank you. I've got a bunch of comments coming through. So Brenda's saying something, and I just cannot find, hi Amber and Brenda, and I just cannot find her message that's coming through here. So I think this is hers. She's saying that I would tell myself that I was smarter than I thought I was, and that I would stop. I had to stop letting it hold me back from trying new things. Absolutely. And it isn't your fault, because a lot of the time we are programmed to think that. And I'm going to say, as a marketer myself, that is what the marketing is all about, is to get people to think that where they're at right now is not where they need to be. There's still more people. You need to have this shiny thing over here. And the downside of that is that it actually, can have negative impacts on people because they then think that they are not good enough. You're not going to be good enough until you get this fancy microphone that's going to make you sound really good. You're not going to be good enough to do your show until you get a fancy, camera. All of that is absolute nonsense. All you need to do is step up and be prepared to stand at the, have a seat at the table, lean in, find your voice, and stand firm on what you're going to be sharing and what you're going to be talking about. So standing out in that marketplace, you will find that being yourself, fronting up to the table, being positive, really putting on that, I suppose, that cap of how do I make things better? And I talked about this in other shows, talking about, how can I continually improve? Not that there's anything, and looking at that from a perspective of, I'm not looking to find things that are wrong with me. I'm looking for ways that I can improve. I'm looking for ways that I can deliver my message better. I'm looking for ways to be able to throw that softball better, throw it faster, throw it further. So you're constantly looking for that instead, and that's a real mindset shift from you thinking about, I'm going to pick things to pieces because I'm not good enough, to I'm going to actually pick things to pieces so I can improve myself. And when you step up in that and talk about these things, you will soon have people that will want to follow you. They'll want to follow you because you are you, not because of, there's 1,000 people that they could follow. They're following you because you are somebody that they resonate with and that is speaking to their heart and their language. So I just wanted to really cover that off, because I know there's a lot of you sitting out there now wishing that you could do a show like this, write a book, do something and step up and step out. The answer I'm going to tell you today is you can. You can, and you just have to get started. So let me just recap on this. I'm going to say to you that standing out is about finding your voice, thinking about how do you standing up, standing firm, then standing out, using that voice of yours to share your message. You're going to choose a platform to share your message on. And as you can see, this is an example, right? So the platform that I have chosen is to do a live show. I want to get close and personal with you guys so you can see me. You can, I can interact with you, all of those things. I want to be able to do that. The next thing you want to do is you want to be consistent, because that consistency, when you show up regularly, that's what people will become, will expect that. I have people now messaging me saying, hey, when is the next show on? They look forward to it, and you want to make sure that you show up and that you deliver as best you possibly can. Be consistent, because then people, whether you're doing something like this or whether you are, a softballer or you're a sprinter or whatever it is that you are trying to achieve, you show up and you be there and you do it, because that consistency and people seeing that you are doing that regularly will go a very, very long way. So I'm just gonna pull up some of these. So Minders is saying, thanks, Minders. Tracy, so right. Just be yourself and put yourself out there. It is, often we think we've got to try and be like somebody else. And in the beginning, you're probably going to look, you're looking at all these gurus, these guys that have been doing it for a very long time and wishing you could do it like that. You don't need to. Just get out there, be you, and deliver it your way, the Tracy way or the Minders way. It will be unique and very, very different without you having to be, having to come up with something that's, revolutionary, because you are revolutionary. Okay, be consistent. I've already covered that. What's going to happen over time is you're going to start creating your personal brand. So they say that your smile is your logo. I can't remember, someone might type this in there, but it's like your smile is your logo, your message is your business card, and your personality is like your brand. So, you want to make sure that you're showing up, you're being consistent, you figure out what is the uniqueness of you and do it over and over and over again. And don't try and be somebody else, just be you. And you will find that will enable you to really stand out. Okay. Interesting. Riza's saying she was anxious for my show. Reza, I'm going to let you on a little secret. Every single time I go live, I should hold my hands up because my hands get all sweaty before I go live. So, you know, that anxiousness doesn't go away, but it's excitement. I think I love to get on here and share the stuff with you guys. So those are the three things that will help you to stand out. And like I said, you want to sit back and you want to see how you can apply this to whatever it is that you are doing. Be consistent, have tenacity, keep going, unlock and unleash that inner lioness and lion that's inside of you, and step up to the table, lean in, and allow your voice to be heard is what today's show is all about. Now, I did say that I was going to let you in on a couple of little secrets, which I am going to let the cat out of the bag on. And I'm probably doing this a little bit prematurely, but I'm going to because I'm super excited about a couple of these. Today's show, where I talked about those three things, you know, standing up, standing firm, and standing out. Well, those three things plus a whole bunch more information about how you can be the person that you want to be, how you can step up to the table, and how you can create an amazing business that will fuel your life. We're about to unleash it. So there's something special that my co-author and my host that's on another show on this the Metadime channel, Vicky Helm, the amazing Vicky Helm, her and I have been very busy writing a book. Here, I'm not going to show you, I'll tell you the name, but here is the manuscript. So I've been going through that. We're super excited to get it out there. It is going to have all of these methods in there, the things that we are doing, how you can stand out, and how you can overcome a lot of negativity, a lot of myths that have been created about why we can't do things in life. So keep your eyes and ears peeled. We will be unleashing that for you guys to get your hands on sometime in June. So it is called The She Myth. So I'm super excited that we're going to be having that available for you guys to download and also purchase the physical book. And we'll be going through a lot of the methodology that I've been sharing on my show, and Vic's been sharing on her show over the last year. So keep your eyes peeled for that. The second awesome thing that I want to share is something that the Metadime digital team have been working on, is this whole part around how do I stand out. And I alluded to the fact that you need to choose like one platform. So you choose the place that you are going to share your message and your voice. So whether that be in video format like I'm doing today, whether it be in the written format through a blog, whether it be, you like to write, whatever the case may be, YouTube, Instagram, so on and so forth. We've got something pretty special coming up that's going to actually teach and help people to create your message once. So you'll be able to create it on one platform, but that will create a multiplier effect. So what I'm doing today, I'm going to share with you guys how we do it, all the secrets. We're going to uncover everything very soon. We'll have a program coming out that will teach you how to do this, and it will have things like how to do this, but then how to multiply it so that you're not having to scramble and trying to work out, well, now I've got to create this on Facebook and that on YouTube and that on Instagram, so on and so forth. We'll show you how to do it once, but have it multiplied out on multiple channels. So if you go and check us out on a whole lot of different places, you'll see that we've got this thing going on that enables me to go live here, but it's creating a whole lot of other stuff that most of the time I don't even touch. It just is happening, and we're going to share with you how to do that. So let me know are you excited about those two things? Because far out, man, I am. I told the guys this morning I want to jump out of my skin because we've got these couple of things going on. So I would love to know if, for those of you that would like a copy of our book, I want you guys to let us know. We will have a waiting list come out very shortly, and we'll let you know how to get your hands on it. And the second is, would you like to know how to step up to the table, stand out, stand firm, and then be able to multiply all this stuff so that you only have to do it once, but it ends up everywhere. And all of a sudden your face and your voice and your message is being heard in a whole heap of different places. So if you're excited, I'm seeing that, I don't know who this is, but there's someone saying that they're super excited, and so are we. So I want to wrap up today's show. Thank you so much. I've gone a little bit over time, but that is how you start to stand out in the market. So today is the day that you make the decision to stand up and stand out and go and share your message. Also, you might want to check out the Metadime, keep in contact with us, because very soon you will have seen that Vicky and Karen spoke about this earlier in the week, that we will have opportunities for people to stand out, and we'll help you do it right here on the Metadime digital channel. So thanks so much for watching me today. I appreciate you being here so much, and make sure that you tune in again next Tuesday. I will be back. 10 a.m. is the time that I go live, and I'll be sharing some more stuff to help you thrive in your business, in your family, and in your life. Have a wonderful day and live your life unlocked. See you guys. Have a great day.